So first of all, just welcome. Really excited to have everyone here. We have a special treat today because Nicole Minicky and Tyler are going to be sharing some information. And if you've never heard Nicole and Tyler speak, they're both really they're really great. What a dynamic duo with this visionary integrator relationship. So really excited. By the way, just a slight plug here. They were just on Tractionville. So if you want to hear more from them, you can definitely hear it on that Tractionville episode. So really quickly, just want to share our agenda and what we're going to be doing. So this morning, again, just a quick welcome and kind of get everyone kind of into the group chat. And then Tyler and Nicole are going to take over and they're going to have a presentation for us. We will have about 10 minutes or so at the end for any Q&A. However, want to encourage you to use the group chat for any questions that you have. Or any extra commentary that you want to make too. You can always use the group chat for that. And then we'll close things up at about 10:55 with just a couple of remarks, kind of sharing a little bit of information about FIM and kind of what's coming up. So for those of you who are new to FIM and kind of what we're doing, FIM is Female Integrator Mastermind. And we're a group of very passionate about cultivating the advancement of women leaders. And what that means to us is we're starting at the integrator level and we're cultivating ourselves and really growing and just personally, professionally, and making an impact on our companies and our communities to the point that it's bleeding over to our own personal leadership team. And that there's women or men on those teams that are really seeing a difference that we're making and wanting to be involved and advancing themselves as well. Just really quickly, there are a couple of benefits to FIM and what we're doing. If you're interested in joining, we have an integrator community that we've completely built out, and this is where we're having lots of group chats and kind of sharing ideas and encouragement and support and advice and things on the community. It works out really great for us. And then we do have several different workshops that really help us with our core values of being there, which means that we're focused on supporting and encouraging fellow integrators. And that actually really plays into this particular workshop very well, because we were really careful when we chose these words that we didn't say we're focused on supporting and encouraging fellow female integrators. What we said is all integrators. So this particular workshop really kind of helps us do that we're able to give back to members and non-members, male and female, in supporting the community. And then obviously, Be Better means that we're passionate about personal and professional development. And that's why we're all here today, to learn from Nicole and from Tyler, so that we can better ourselves and better our companies. And this is again where that reminder of the group chat is. If you have a question or if you have a little comment or anything that you want to make, please make sure you do utilize that particular group chat. So really quickly, just want to welcome RocketClicks. Nicole Minicky and Tyler are going to take over from here. And Nicole, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm assuming you're the one that's going to share your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Let me.
Great to be here. Thanks, everyone. And like Cindy said, please use the group chat so that we can make sure we're answering all your questions.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Can you see my screen, Christy?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Awesome. I have a weird echo. Is that for me? I think we're good. Okay. Super excited to talk with you guys today. Do you hear that? We got it. Okay. What we're going to really be focusing on is shifting the gears into 2021. We're all kind of sick of this year, I think, right? And it's how do we continue, how do we take what we're learning from this year and leading into next year to just really hit the ground running? And so before, just some housekeeping, my name is Nicole Minicky. I am my 3 favorite jobs in no certain order: integrator, mom, and coach. I'm the integrator at RocketClicks. I have 2 boy military brat kids, 7 and 9. Right now we live in Atlanta, but this is state number 8 in 9 years. So who knows, we'll be here in another year or so. And I really do have a personal passion, personal and professional passion around courage-based coaching. And so I lead the leadership team at RocketClicks. And But today, what I want to focus on is, in particular, is specific to digital marketing, your digital marketing strategy for the next year. I do have my contact information if you want to email me directly, or visit rocketclicks.com/FIM for more information about us and how excited we are to partner with FIM this year and years to come. I also want to introduce my friend Tyler. Tyler, sorry, got a frog. Tyler is joining me today to sprinkle in some of that visionary nuggets for all you low fact finders, high quick starts out there, unlike myself. So Tyler and I have been working together within RocketClicks for the last 6 years, and we've just really transformed how we lead, who we are in the digital marketing space as an agency. Shameless plug. In November, for those who are going to the FIM Summit or on the fence on the FIM Summit, Tyler and I are actually going to be presenting positivity around our VI Power Duo. And if you heard us on Traction Tools, we did a little sneak peek. Tyler and I have developed 10 house rules that we live by to keep our relationship productive and positive. So we're going to share all of them at the FIM Summit. So I hope you all come. All right, so what we wanted to do today is take a look into the crystal ball of 2021 and what we see really differentiating advertisers heading into this new year. There is a massive shift from offline media to online, and this just hasn't started happening. COVID-19 has definitely amplified it, but this movement has been happening for years. What really we're learning is normal is gone. For as sad as it makes us, there's going to be a new normal that emerges from this. And what we are really looking at our advertisers and partners and saying, if things are going to be different moving forward, why should your marketing stay the same? And so now is the time to take the step back, look bigger picture, and reimagine your approach. So we wanted to look into that crystal ball, and we identify 3 consistent trends that we're seeing that's really differentiating businesses. And we're really going to push them to thrive in the year to come.
I think it's been really interesting to watch how companies and brands have already started to adapt given everything that's happened with COVID. And you still see people lagging behind. So this is just another opportunity to push everyone in the right direction and make sure that they're thinking about their business for this year and beyond.
Yeah, and take advantage of it before your competitors do, which I think we have some really cool ideas to prioritize and focus on. All right, so the first, just move in my thing. Just show of hands with your little hand emoji icon chat thing. Who here has heard of StoryBrand? Donald Millard book, The Building a Story Brand? Yeah, thumbs up, awesome. First of all, disclaimer, we are not a StoryBrand guide or expert guide, but we are really passionate about it. And if this isn't on your reading list, put this on your reading list. It has really revolutionized the way that we look at messaging, not only for ourselves, but for our partners as well. So about 4 years ago, Tyler and I, we stumbled across this book and we said, oh, this is so cool. It makes so much sense. Let's do it. And so we went down this journey. And I'm just going to give like I said, we are not a certified expert guide, but from a high level, we want just to give you why this matters to you in the year to come. What no one wants to be is a helpless damsel in distress. And right now, people are feeling completely vulnerable. They're feeling like they're losing control, right? People want to be the hero. Everyone wants to be the hero. Being the hero feels good. It's empowering. It builds confidence. It makes you stand up straighter. And what we often see is companies prioritize their need to want to be a hero over those of their people. And so our world is full of companies that fix things. They fix your problem. You are the helpless person and useless, but us as a company, we can solve your problems. And I want to talk about one company in particular, an embarrassing story, but we will be vulnerable with you today. So let's just say 4 years ago, you came across RocketClicks. And you typed us into Google and you came to our website. And you heard about who we were. We are diverse and eclectic collection of left and right brains. We love technology and understand it. We love a good challenge, right? And then it's how we think. We craft the best strategies. We examine the big picture. We turn your customers into ambassadors. We do this. Who is the hero of this story, right? We haven't even given a second to give space for that other person to be appreciated and celebrated in our messaging. This is happening everywhere.
We actually went through a consultant who shed this light on us, and they said, hey, how many times do you think you say we on your website? And Nicole and I were both like, not very much. It's not a big deal. And we started to look at all this, and it was extremely eye-opening to realize how we've been positioning ourselves in the market as opposed to what we should be doing.
Totally, right? Talk about, not only are we patting ourselves on the back, but we're actively positioning ourselves as that hero. And I bet you're all laughing because either you've seen this done horribly before, right? Or you're not laughing because you yourself are doing it on your website. And it's kind of that moment of reflection, right? And so one of the things, like all these cute little characters have in common, they are all served as somebody's guide. They are not the hero. They are not the person that solves the problem. They support the leading character. They help the character become the hero of their own story. They help them overcome obstacles. They guide them through challenges. They provide them ideas how they can be successful in their journey. And really what we're saying when we say reposition your brand in 2021, shift your role in your customer's story. Instead of saving the day for them, be the one to help them. Grab them by the crook of the arm and be the hero, be the guide for them as they are going through their own stories in their own lives. So now,
your customers don't care about you, right? They care about them and they care about their business. And so if you can transition the conversation to be more about them and their victory, then it's going to be more advantageous for all parties.
So now fast forward to today, right? Now you go back and you search for that RocketClicks again. This is the experience when you get on the website now. Digital marketing that works for you. Business growth starts here. There's testimonial for proof, right? Because they're like, I don't care what you say you're going to do. What are other people saying that you're doing, right? Then you go down, even when we're explaining the proven process or that simple plan that they can follow, we position it as them. They are making these key decision makers. They are starting the simple plan. We are not doing the plan unto them. They are initiating that plan. Growing your business, even like the language that you're using, staying away from the we. Even when we explain what we do, we frame it in a sense of what they can do with it. So web marketing solutions that make sense. We're addressing some of their concerns about indecision and inaction. Find the best opportunity, act quickly. So we're creating a call to action, not just say, help us save the day, but let us help you save the day within your business. And only then at the way end, little traction build plug, Christy, I love that you said it in the beginning. At the way bottom, we say, okay, now who are we, right? And actually Tyler and I, this was a tough conversation to have. We took our sales presentation, the one that when we were prospecting and engaging with people, and that we said, let's not talk about ourselves until the last slide. And let's ask their permission. So we actually have an entire sales presentation where we focus on their business, their results, and then we ask them, are you interested in learning a little bit more about who we are? And we've seen a significant difference because as business owners, you guys are constantly being sold to. People are constantly trying to cram what they do down your throat. And instead, you can position your brand as the guide, as the guide of the story to that hero. So
just going back to that sales presentation, that's so key. We were finding that the first 4 or 5 or 6 slides were all about us. Here's how great we are. Here's what we do. And our audience was becoming bored or tuning out. So before we could even pitch, before we could even ask for the business, we already had to win them back with the presentation after the about us. So that one move from removing everything about RocketClicks to the end of the presentation really changed the game, and our close rate went up exponentially.
Absolutely. Which brings me to this point, and admittedly so we had the story brand, it was awesome, it felt great, and so we changed our website and we did nothing else. We didn't go to like, yeah, we're finished, this is done, right? We didn't do the ads, the trade show, the sales, the contract, the proposals we're sending to people. And so what happens is if you tell them you're a hero on your website, but then tell them they're helpless in the sales process, there's such significant disconnect from what they think they're getting with your brand. And so these objectives may differ. So there's like so many touch points, and I'm talking, these are just online, let alone the offline, the trade shows, the handouts. I mean, what about even your recruiting material, right? Like how do you keep that brand message really cohesive and consistent? And so don't do what RocketClicks did. When you do something like this, really take a look at all your marketing material and say, what doesn't jive with that story? And then go back through and make sure that you're tailoring that and trimming back some of that really we as the hero focus and reestablishing it. this is what's kind of cool. EOS has this great tool, the 3 uniques, that are so powerful. What if you can take that same messaging and keep your 3 uniques in line too? So instead of we are this, we actually took, these are our 3 uniques. You are more than a number. You have a team of experts. You are treated with respect. So we took our 3 uniques, reworded them, flipped them, and say, okay, why do they care about it, and why does it matter in the journey as hero? Okay, so for each, and I'm sorry, I am trying to kill a bug as it's cute. So if I look, I'm swatting you. So each time, or each prediction, we have some some takeaways. And so the 3 takeaways that I would really recommend you guys all focus on is, 1, do you have, like, audit the we versus you search on your homepage. So literally just do a Control F and just seek the ways that you've either used your brand name or the word we, and assess it yourself. Is there a need for this? 2nd, audit your current marketing materials. Are they all conveying the same core message and positioning? And then finally, are your own 3 uniques customer-centric? Are they story brand-esque? Does it keep the person as the hero even using your own 3 uniques?
This can really transcend into the rest of your marketing as well. If you're doing Google ads today, are your ads all about why you're great and why someone should choose you, as opposed to why the customer can be the victor there? So audit all of your marketing, traditional and digital.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the 2nd prediction is buyer journey. Now this, oh man, I get all the fire in my stomach when I talk about this, because it's something that people so frequently overlook. And when we've seen advertisers do this really well, it raises all boats, right? It just completely raises the tide of the business. So let's first talk. So I say journey. We often interchange that with funnel. And so when we are thinking through the search funnel or a buyer funnel to your product, you have a top band of people that are just becoming aware of your brand. Maybe they're starting to become aware of the need of your brand, right? The number is, there's a lot of people, right? There's 100 people in this bucket. Then some will drip off because they realize they just don't need it. The next stage of this is interest. So now they're starting to understand, oh, okay, there's an increased interest. They're educating themselves more. The third is intent. So they've moved up past awareness to interest, now to intent. They're intending to make a purchase or engage with you in some way. And the last one is action. So if you take one thing from this entire presentation, let's say Susie Q is your customer. She is navigating her own search journey and she wants to be the hero. And she is going to change. In every single one of these, she is a different person. She is educating herself. Her problems have morphed and changed. She's realized that she's described a symptom instead of the actual core problem. And smart advertisers not only respect this, but they think about this in their marketing approach. So your job is to understand how her narrative changes. When she starts with awareness all the way down to action, how do you access Susie Q and make sure that you are addressing the problems she says she's trying to solve, because each step has a different problem. What do they know? So the people that are intent versus awareness, they know significantly different things. What do they need to know? And so you as a marketer are transforming your message and approach based on where they are in the funnel.
I think this is like the secret sauce of digital advertising. You see a lot of advertisers doing this poorly, where the message doesn't change as customers go down the funnel. They're still getting, well, this is my company and this is what we do, but the customer already knows that, right? They're past that education phase. They should be getting a more tailored message, maybe a call to action, maybe a promotion to help incentivize the buy or the purchase or the lead. And if you can communicate to your customers throughout their journey along the funnel, you're going to improve your conversion rate.
Yeah, a good audit of this is go back to your marketing team or your agency partner, anyone who's doing your marketing, and saying, what's the message we're giving to the person that just got to know our brand versus someone who has known us or have been engaging with us, right? Have gone to the website, have asked for a lead. And if that message doesn't change, if you're cramming, we have 20 years of experience down everybody's throat, then you're not tailoring and really making it specific towards that person and who they are. Okay, so I want to talk about search intent. So this is a big conversation as well. So in the world of digital marketing, it's all about keyword, a big piece of it is keyword targeting. And what are the things that people are searching? So the keywords that people are searching could also signify where they are in the search funnel. So someone in the awareness phase, and this is for RocketClicks, right? Grow my business online. I know that I need to grow my business online. This is important. Once they start educating themselves, they realize there's two different types of traffic, right? They have PPC, or the paid traffic, versus the organic traffic. And okay, well, what's the difference? PPC versus SEO traffic to the website. Hey, I want to improve my website ranking. So now these are all of a sudden, like, now there's an intent to improve. They realize what they know what they know now, and now they're moving towards more intent. And hey, I need a digital marketing agency. I mean, I get it, right? And so you see how these searches are so different. If we are using the same message when someone's searching for digital marketing agency on the Grow My Business Online, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. And so it's really understanding where these are. Also, when you're optimizing your website, everybody goes for that action keyword, that one at the bottom. Advertisers like that are writing great content on their website, the ones that focus across the funnel can actually drive more traffic and awareness, sometimes for free, right? If you're building that content, not just on digital marketing agency, but some more ones specific to their more upper funnel searches. All right, so symptom-based. I kind of want to stop on this for a little bit. I mentioned this before. Symptom-based is not everybody knows they need your time tracking solution or your conference table, right? They don't know it at that moment. And so what symptom-based searches is let's just say, well, you are a company running an EOS and you realize the logistics of managing EOS and your L10s have become difficult. What are the things you're searching? Templates for Google Sheets, L10 management tools, EOS tool organization, digital versions. What about rolling out EOS or managing a remote team on EOS? What you don't realize you need is management software for companies running an EOS, right? So that's going to be very low volume, but some of these symptom searches, and now every single one of your businesses have symptom searches that you are maybe not even capitalizing on, that you could either buy for cheap, low cost per click, or focus your marketing efforts, your content development to help bridge that gap from that upper funnel to that action search. Cool. So, and I'm cramming a ton in here. Christy, I know there's a recording too, and I can get the deck out as well, but I'm packing in as much as I can here. So another piece here is platform consideration. One of the things we hear so often is, we don't do Facebook. Facebook's not our buyer. My customers aren't on Facebook. The thing is, they are on Facebook. You just don't think that they want to purchase your service while engaging with Facebook. Now, that is a huge misconception. So what we actually see is, I would say every single Facebook test that we have done with one of our clients has been successful on Facebook, because and it's all about targeting. It's not that you're going on and just targeting any human being that's over the age of 45. You are carefully targeting different types of audiences, like people that have engaged with your brand. I like the story. You wouldn't put a prospect on hold when you have them on a sales call and they're just about ready to close. You'd never put them on hold for 5 minutes, right? Facebook could be a bridge between when they start their search and when they end it and make that decision. They are doing other things like socializing on Facebook. You have the ability to target them as they continue to navigate and have conversations online. All right, another piece and again, we're still talking about that buyer journey. So we're talking about the types of searches, where they're searching on the platform, now what they're searching on. In a world where homes are becoming offices overnight, the use of devices have completely flipped. It is completely transformed here in the last couple months, because now parents are helping kids with homework assignments and they're on their cell phone looking up conference table make and models, right? And so these devices become really important. And that's what I hear. A client said, no one buys a $3,000 conference table, right? That doesn't happen. The problem is that there may be different touch points in that journey. So they may start on their phone, they may flip to their tablet, they may get on their desktop. And so you as an advertiser, even at the minimum, making sure your website is responsive to those devices, but also thinking about it as part of your marketing and actually focusing on them as part of a marketing strategy.
We have to remember that the buyers are getting smarter every day, right? And they have access to technology whenever they want. So they could be doing research at their kid's soccer game, not ready to purchase, but trying to understand when and how they're going to purchase, and then go complete that purchase on their desktop. So it's important for us to be there throughout the journey, understand that they may not buy from us on our first touch point. And sometimes we have clients that are like, well, we've been advertising for 24 hours, where are the sales? You know, we have to remind them that this is a journey and that things don't happen overnight, and that we need to be there during the journey so that we can make sure we're executing long term.
Absolutely. Which we're going to talk a little bit about data in a second, which also helps bridge that gap. At a minimum, and that's one of our homeworks for you, is device responsiveness matters. So your website, at a minimum, should have one design that scales to devices, and there should be different versions based on the devices. So very often advertisers just rely on the fact that, oh, it's responsive, and then they just let that responsive tool decide how to put things, right? So what happens, we've seen, is a call to action that's really beautiful and prevalent on a desktop device all of a sudden gets crammed to the bottom of their mobile device. So you have to be really intentional and say, I need to make sure that my call to action is within at least one swipe, right? And so like being intentional, because even though you may not be seeing that direct sales on the mobile device, people are researching, people are fact checking, people are, even if you have a referral business, people are going to your website and potentially using your mobile device. And if it's not easy to interact with, that could be just a ding against your validity as a company, you know, and those trust signals. And this was pretty cool. So my manager made this, and I had to steal it. So he, you know, along the same lines of this funnel, now what do you want them to do on the website? And this was a really cool way to look at website optimization. You take that funnel and you flip it. And you flip it because you're designing your website for the least patient to the most patient person. So very often, sometimes as a company, you want to talk all about yourself and your team and how great you are and you're unique, way too high up in the page. And that actually could deter people that are ready to act. Yeah, no, I know what you do. I want to set up a call, or I want to do this. So setting those convert type of elements on the website up high, building trust, because trust matters more than telling them about yourself, which is why if you notice the RocketClicks thing, we had our call to action right away. The next thing they saw was a testimonial from a client, because that trust signals will help push them down into the page to continue to navigate and persuade.
This goes right back to what Nicole was saying about putting a customer who's ready to close on hold. We have to assume that when our customer comes to our website, they are ready to buy. And that person in that moment is our most important customer. So let's ensure that the path to reaching us, it has the least resistance, which is why it's front and center. And then we go down the funnel and we assume that, okay, well, maybe you're not ready to buy yet, but you need some more information. So that's why that comes next. So it's really important that we make customers who are ready to buy, allow them a very easy path to doing so. Whether it's contact us or purchase or fill out a form or whatever it is, make sure you make that path easy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the takeaways from that second prediction, that buyer journey: identify your sacred cows. Go back and have a real honest conversation. Say, what have I told you? We don't do X. We don't do device marketing. We don't do Facebook, right? And really take a good hard look at them and make sure that you guys are really evaluating it as a potential. The second is, how does your website respond to device types? Making sure that it's not only responsive, but that it's intentionally responsive and it keeps the call to actions where you need them to go. And then third is, brainstorm some symptom-based searches and start Googling them. Do you notice your competitors around those terms? Do they have great blog posts or articles or press releases, like something that would drive traffic to their website on those symptom-based, because that opens up this huge amount of untapped inventory at the top of the funnel. All right, our third and final prediction is this year will be a year of smarter data-driven decision-making. I want to tell a story. We have one of my favorite clients, office furniture client, and they've always been revenue, spend, revenue. And so we looked at every platform, every campaign, every keyword on this one-to-one. What did I spend? What did I get? Now it has been huge, wildly successful for the business as a whole because of just that critical view of it. But you also start to hit this ceiling. And so about 2-3 years ago, we started tracking other conversions. So we started tracking multiple views of high value products. So, hey, what types of things are pushing people to look at multiple conference tables in one stop? Ads to a shopping cart and emailing of the cart. So we made it a bit, the user able to physically email the cart to a friend or to themselves. And our hypothesis was 2 things. One, maybe there are people that are doing the research for these purchasing, but then needing to forward it to a key decision maker to make the final call. And B, if people, you're right, maybe they don't want to buy on their cell phone, but if they're able to forward it to their work email, that they would successfully do finalize the cart on their desktop. And we learned so much. It was such a game changer for the business. We learned that mobile users were sharing their cart at a higher rate than other users. We learned that there were certain audiences within Facebook that were actually driving a ton more add to carts than others. We learned that there's some keywords that just resulted in users looking at higher value products. For example, somebody looking for computer desk versus office desk, significantly different. Computer desk was parents buying for their kids' dorm rooms, office desks for larger, stable, stationary desks. So just this insight, not just because of revenue, but because of those other buying behaviors. And we were able to better allocate the budgets. And this goes right back to that funnel. So as we go through, we start to notice that awareness. People are looking at those multiple pages, they're emailing the cart, they're adding to their shopping cart, and they're converting. And now we have line of sight and visibility into this data that before we were only focusing on the revenue. So this was really big for their business because now we could start making different decisions because we had more data touch points. Now, I'm sure most of your bullshit detectors are going off because you guys are mostly integrators, right? Oh, there's this agency on this presentation that's telling us not to hold people accountable for the bottom line and these fluffy goals that are just going to destroy our numbers and make it seem like they're doing better than they should be, right? Okay. What this is not doing is taking away accountability or inflating the data, right? It's not to make poor excuses, and it's not dodging accountability of your agency partner or your marketing team. What it is doing is it's very carefully chosen to ensure the data stays meaningful. We've actually seen, yeah, let's keep the same exact reporting so we're not muddying our performance numbers, but let's have an engagement-based report that now these are like some bigger picture conversations. So these metrics can be tracked passively without impacting your reporting, like the standard company reporting that you've viewed as success. It's a more holistic view on the business. And I think what's most importantly is it breaks down the silos. So many businesses look at offline versus online versus Google, Bing, and they really try to like silo them. And it's really meant to just push down those walls and see how they work together. How does Google help YouTube, help Facebook, help come back on Bing, right? And it brings that relationship full circle. All right, so the last set of takeaways. So take a walk in your customer's shoes. So what potential things can they do on your website that would suggest they're interested or they're moving down the search funnel? Because then those are the things you track. The second one is, are you hyper-focused on that primary and macro conversion, or are you tracking some of those micro conversions? And then finally, are you getting what you need from your scorecard? The hardest part, it's so funny, as a marketing firm, the hardest thing we did was make our marketing scorecard. There's so many metrics you can pick from, and so I think making sure that you are thinking all the way, what are the indicators from awareness to action, and how can we track those indicators and we can see improvement over time? All right, so to kind of wrap it up, and I'm excited for Q&A, the 3 big, what we think is predictions for this year, and we've already seen it actually be true, right, is making sure that your brand is repositioned as a guide, not a hero, and it's consistent. Focusing on your buyer journey and making sure that you're allocating your budget and time and resources across the funnel, not just that lower funnel, and then better data to help you make those decisions. Cool.
That is fantastic. So who has a ton of questions? Because I know I've got a couple. Does anybody have a question? If you want to just unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have.
I have a question. Did you guys utilize a story brand guide yourself? Or did you essentially self-implement story brand in your own practice?
Yeah, we decided to self-implement, but what we did do, which was really cool, which I think was the first time we did it, we just used the book, and then I created a digital version. The second time we tried it, same thing with EOS. We tried it once, didn't work. Second time we did it right. The second time though, we actually got access to the workshop and video series, which was the best decision. It was real, like the video series are incredible. So I think that I would recommend, if you don't do an actual guide, at least get access to their workshop.
All right, thank you.
Totally agree. Okay. I don't know what the guide price is, but I think understanding the value we saw from an implementer on the EOS side, I'm sure that it would have been the same case on the story brand side.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have? Oh, okay, good. It was just one little woof.
I actually have another question.
Sure.
When you talked about flipping the tunnel, I really tracked with the like build trust segment where you gave your example of testimonials. I also like get more of the persuade and navigate piece. But that convert piece, could you say a little bit more about that? Because I'm a little fuzzy in that area. When, like, what do you mean by that?
Well, from my point of view, the convert is the call to action. It's the final step that you want them to take. And for us, it's our let's talk button, which actually feeds down to our form so that we can grab their information and then set up a call. Okay. So when we talk about conversion, that's how ultimately we're measuring success. How many leads did we actually get? How many things did we actually sell?
Show of hands, who's Midwest? Yeah. So sometimes companies have like a real bad Midwest nice on their website, and they're like, I don't want to be too aggressive. I don't want to ask them for anything. And so that what happens is, and we see this all the time when we audit people's sites, I'm like, what do they want me to do? There's not a single place where I know what they want me to do. They're doing weird, like learn more about our services links and stuff, but there's not a really clear action. And by putting a call today, request information, try our demo really, really loud and proud on the website, that is not intrusive. That is not disrespectful. It is actually respectful because people know, oh, they want me to try this demo. And if they don't want to try the demo, they'll just scroll past it and they'll keep learning more, but at least they know, like make it incredibly easy for anyone to know exactly what you want them to do.
The worst thing in the world is to get someone to come to your website, to come to your storefront and not know what to do next. Because if they truly are that confused, then they're going to leave and go to a competitor.
And StoryBrand does that really beautifully because they have what's called, I don't remember what they call it, but the ask them to marry you and then ask them on your first date call to actions. So marry me is get your free audit today. Like RocketClicks, we have digital marketing audit, get your free audit. But the hey, come on a date with me is learn more. Let's talk. Let's see if I understand your needs. And so that StoryBrand does that really well to say, make sure that that's really clear and present and don't distract them and tell them to do any more. Because if they want to learn more about your services, they'll find a way to do it. Don't make that your primary call to action.
Fantastic. That was a good question. What other questions?
Oh, I think Cindy is asking, but you're muted, Cindy.
Hi, sorry about that. So would you say story brand would be good for a company that we don't sell things in that manner? People do not buy from our site. It's much more of an informational site. It is a come and let us talk with you. We provide services, and you can't get our services that way. You have to get it by talking with us, and we have to find out about what your actual needs are. And so is StoryBrand, would you say, would be good for that?
I would say absolutely. I mean, that's our business too, right?
We can't sell online.
We sell off the shelf. Everything's personalized and tailored. And so our call to action is let's talk, right?
Right, okay, perfect.
Do.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually a really big objection that we often hear. We hear that is people don't buy online. And then we also hear we're a referral-based business, that we get mostly all of our stuff referral-based. And on both sides of the coin, though, in this day, people will be searching for you. So when you get a referral from somebody, the first thing you do is go to your desktop, go to your mobile phone, and type in their name. You know, what do they have any bad press? Do they have a website? Like, where are they? Very often, it's like, well, where are they physically located? Are they international? Are they in a different country? So just making sure that even though you may not have an e-commerce site where people are actively purchasing, making your website your brand hub is so vital and important, even if the activity doesn't happen on the web.
Yeah, I think people will make it. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cindy. I think you're muted again.
Oh, she was just saying she got it.
I was just saying thank you, that's all.
Perfect. I wanted to make sure. I think that's very true. I think I know me personally, when I'm shopping, that's one thing I look for, right? I may know all about RocketClicks, but when I go to RocketClicks, I'm trying to gather more information. So I think that is true. It's very, very important to make sure there's lots of information, but also a call to action. You know, okay, now what? Now that I've gone a little deeper, now what? What other questions?
So Nicole, from what my take is, obviously you have to start with fixing your website. Before you worry about all these other things, you've got to fix the messaging on your website first.
Well, I think at the end of the day, from our perspective, our goal is to grow businesses online, right? And that sort of starts with the website, but the advertising side of things as well. At the end of the day, if we're going to drive people to the site from social, from ads, from organic, well, when they get there, we need them to have a great experience and actually know what to do. So it's certainly an important part. Nicole, do you agree?
Yeah, it's getting your house in order. You know, so some people aren't aware, but there on the paid side, there are some industries that cost 50 cents to drive a click. Divorce lawyer in Southern California could be a $300 click. Financial services could be between $10 and $50 a click. So depending on the industry and space, you wouldn't want to spend a dime unless that click going to your website is going to experience something, right? Is going to be able to have some kind of call to action and strengthen content.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
I think, Nicole, you have your contact info as well, if anyone wants to ask you privately.
For sure, for sure.
Perfect. All right, well, if we don't have any more questions, Nicole, do you have any last comments or anything you want to make, you and Tyler?
No, come visit at RocketClicks.com/FIM. You can learn, like I said, permission to share more about RocketClicks. You can learn about us. You can learn about how we partner with our partners. We'd love to get to know any of you guys as well. And I keep saying, guys, you gals as well, you and your businesses. That's such a Midwest thing of me to do, right?
Love it. And I know she gave a slight sneak peek here. Nicole, if you don't mind, I am going to share my screen again really, really quickly.
Okay.
She shared a quick sneak peek. Well, slowly, hang on. For some reason, my slideshow went away here. She shared a quick sneak peek to what we're going to be doing at the summit. She's going to be speaking there as well. And I kind of mentioned too that her and Tyler both spoke on the Tractionville podcast. If you haven't heard it, it was a fantastic podcast. I would definitely encourage anyone to listen to it. Lots of great information there as well. And then here, slowly, it is coming up, I promise. I don't know why I'm having such an issue today. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen that says thank you?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Okay, so Nicole mentioned, she mentioned this summit, so I do want to share about that too. But really quickly before we get to it, we do have a few things that are coming up. Next week, we have our FIM Learning Workshop, and that is for members to come and hear. Mostly we have implementers that are speaking here. Benj Miller is coming in. We're going to expand again on the a little bit more about marketing and things that we have we can do in our companies. And so really excited to hear him talk. If you've not heard Benj and know who he is an EOS implementer, he is the founder of Syrup, and he is one of the co-hosts of Tractionville. So he's a really dynamic person to listen to.
And he's a really cool dude, like really cool to listen to.
He is really cool. Love the big beard. We also have a book club. This month we're reading Creativity. And so this is another membership benefit that we have. We typically will read a book or a section of a book and then have a quick 1 hour lunch break with each other and kind of discuss. So this book is, again, it's really great. It's going to be focused on marketing. And then we have our topic of the month for next month is one of my favorites. It is the Visionary Integrator Relationship, where we're really going to be diving deep and talking about what we can do to make sure that that dynamic duo is staying healthy, having amazing conversations, and growing together. And so Leaders Inspired, who is Mary Pat Knight, for those of you who know her, she was the closing keynote at last year's summit, and she is also the closing keynote at this year's summit. She's an EQ coach who is just fabulous. She's going to be leading the Integrator workshop. So this particular workshop next month on October 6th. And then, like I said, a little bit about the FIM Women's Summit. The Women's Summit is available to members and non-members, but it is female integrators. So, if you have not heard about it, want to know more information about it, then you can go to 2020.fimsummit.com and learn all kinds of information there. And don't worry, the call to action is there where you can sign up and join us on that particular day. And then also, if you're interested in more information in just about FIM and what we're doing, we kind of touched a few things here today by showing you the workshops that we do, but we also have a great community, the book clubs and all the different things that we're doing. One of the things that I'm really the most excited about right now, or one of the things I'm most excited about right now, is we're starting some forums where we're going to be breaking out into small study groups and really being able to help each other dive deep into issues that we're having and getting them resolved, with a group of 8 to 12 women. So really, really exciting stuff going on with them, and really glad to share it with you. Did we have a question, Nicole?
I just posted it to the group so when they get the thing later.
Okay, perfect. And then the other thing too is if you are a FIM member, we will post this into the learning workshop group so that we can continue this conversation and be able to kind of continue. And if there's more questions or if there's more input that someone has, then they can definitely be shared there. All right. So Nicole, do you want to go ahead and answer that question really briefly?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So Cindy asked about, and we get this a lot too, about using Facebook to gain customers. And then she said the magic words, our team thinks our older customers don't use Facebook. Okay. So we get that a lot. And really what we would say is don't let our assumptions make the data decisions for us. And so if your customers aren't on Facebook, then you will quickly find out in a test, right? But you instead let the data and let those smart audience testing start at first. And then you can go from there and say, no, Facebook didn't work for us in this case, or this didn't work here.
Yeah.
For the audience on Facebook, it's extremely affordable to test and gather data, especially in a learning phase like that.
Yeah, I agree. I love when people say assume, and excuse my language here,
you and me.
But don't let it make an ass out of you and me. And that's what you're doing by taking that off the table is, wow, you could really be making assumptions that are maybe not 100% true. Slightly accurate, just not 100%. I love it.
And that's another thing. I mean, that goes really well with that conversation about Well, we want leads and we're not seeing leads from Facebook. Well, are there other things that users on Facebook are doing on your website outside of leads? Because you, with this office furniture client, we are driving so much really, really low cost traffic to the website that is later, months later, converting, and we're actually able to make that relationship using great analytics and tracking.
Build a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that. All right, perfect. Any last minute questions? Okay.
It's fun. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This
Yeah.
is
Thank you very much for your time.
awesome.
Yeah, so again, want to just thank you. I appreciate everyone coming and seeing, hearing what Nicole and Tyler had to share, and then, seeing a little bit more about who FIM is. If you are interested, I believe we have put a link in the chat. Feel free to please reach out to me, or Nicole is actually a member of the leadership team on FIM as well. So you can reach out to us and just let us know any questions that you have, and we'll be able to help out and get you set up. But otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and month, and we'll see, hopefully, fingers crossed, see you next week during our member workshop. And if not, we'll see you next month at our integrator workshop. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.